How'd you feel about the first scrimmage?
There were some things that I was really pleased with. There were some things that we were really lacking. There was some really growth with some of the guys that I was looking to see some growth from. I think overall, anytime you can put over 115, 20 plays together for the first scrimmage, there's going to be ups and downs. You want more ups and downs, but it's really the next day of making sure that you're clean in the coaching, that they're clear and they understand what their role is in those moments. It's different in spring because you're trying to, usually after those tests, you're usually, okay, now this is going to be your role. You're moving up, you're moving down. You got to be careful with that. You want to make sure you're rewarding them for the success they had, or if you're not seeing the progress that you need to see, give them the reasons why and maybe moving them around the depth chart. We're doing that already right now. There's certain guys that have established roles with DJ and Shai that we're on for some little points of getting better at, but there's just a big group of guys right now that just need to prove to all of us that we're ready for it. And I just think every rep and every opportunity we have is beneficial for that group.
How have the new faces and some of the guys who haven't played much at defensive end, how have they done this spring in the sense of integrating themselves, getting used to it, and just showing you what you want to see from that group as a whole?
Well, specifically at defensive end, I think Marvin has flashed. He's what I was hoping he would be. He's really athletic. He's physical at the point. He's got the physical traits. He likes football. We're seeing a lot of the things show up with him that I was hoping I would see. Tamawa, we've moving him inside, outside. I think he probably played 50-50 snaps at defensive end and defensive tackle. So his versatility, I think, I'm trying not to rush and make decisions on what his role is going to be. I know he's going to help us. And he's going to be a really good player because he's got natural shed off block ability. He gets off the ball really well. He's got a lot of tools. It's just about getting the reps with him, and that the role will follow here at one point. Nusi, I think we've seen some flashes. I think what we're doing right now with him, especially pass rush, is seeing things that he's really good at and trying to get him to be that more consistently, have a little bit more of a plan. We know what we're going to get in the run game. We got to continue to hone in on some little things with him. I think Jaden Jones is somebody that was here, but he's flashing. He gets off blocks. He chases. He's healthy. He's long. He's playing with good physicality. That group, I'm happy with the direction they're headed.
JP seemed excited when you guys signed him, even though he hadn't played football really that whole season. When did you see it coming back from the injury?
Well, I noticed them in winter workouts this year flash the way I saw on the Hutch JUCO film. Last year he came back, got cleared when we got started, and he didn't play a lot of football either. Plus he's coming off the injury, and he wasn't very strong overall. So there was a lot of catch up to do, and so it was trying to help him not get too down on himself, so that he could have better days and put those on top of each other, so that he could build a foundation for what he's doing now. So he's still got a ways to go, but now we're talking about the technicality of technique and his assignments, and less about quit getting moved off the ball, right? Try to lock out this block. We need more speed at the point of attack, like all those things. That stuff's showing up. So the physical traits are showing up. Now it's just mounting on the reps and making sure that the corrections are true for him.
I know you love watching guys evolve. What has it been like watching AZ develop into what he's become?
Good. He was one of those really mature high school signees that, like Kevin Noles, the minute he got on campus, like he was kind of very dialed in. And so it made it easy for us to give him a role as a true freshman, which evolved into a significant role last year. Now it becomes like just his physicality is showing up in so many different ways. I remember being on that field as a true freshman and after practices, just going through reps of tackling the sled, right? And just but now you're seeing all the reps kind of come together for him, and he's playing like you want a corner to play. Like every time the ball's thrown his way, you're surprised when they catch the football. And when the tackles are there, he had a good blitz angle today at a TFL, and he's developing into an all-around really good football player. And I think the world of him, and he needs to have a really big year. And I know there's nobody with higher expectations than him.
Younger linebackers with varied amounts of experience from the last.
Sure, that's all it was. There you go. Oh, man. Appreciate you.
Perfect.
Love them.
Linebackers, younger guys with varied amounts of experience. Has anybody just impressed us from a developmental standpoint?
Blake, I mean, like Randy said, as the scrimmage ended, I had a good sense. I was upstairs in the box and that Blake had played pretty good, but Randy grabbed me and says, "You're gonna like what you saw." Just a lot more consistent, being where he needs to be, and you're seeing the flash. Today, an inside drill, I mean, you're seeing his physicality. We know he can run. We know he's got athletic change of direction. He's natural in coverage. You saw that last year when we forced the reps with him, like all the wheel routes, like he was making all the plays, picking balls off. It was just the ball would go left, he'd go right. It was just all pad level, but it's starting to show up. I think the arrow's really high on Blake right now.
Some of his classmates.
Daryl Jackson's had some dominant flashes so far in the spring. What have you thought about him?
He can be better. I think, just there's a lot of football left in him. What I love is that he's obviously got super ability, and he wants to be coached, and he wants to be better. When you ask him, he realizes he's not where he needs to be, and that isn't an effort thing. It's not a physicality standpoint. It's just the amount of play. I mean, the great thing is he's, as long as he is as big as he is, there's a lot of room for error with a frame like that too, and it's just about trying to hone in on the little things for him and just the small reactions that it comes to when you're playing 6 inches from the ball. You know what I mean? The different steps, the leverages, the hand placements. Those are the things with Daryl that I really want to see pick up this week. Again, the reps are there, and it's all real now. It's full system go, and we got to help him become the dominant player that I know he can be.
We saw some of Conrad, obviously, on the field last year at safety, but KJ wasn't out much. Coach Norvell said he looked pretty good in the scrimmage. How's he come along?
Yeah, KJ, had a really good fall camp, and then he got banged up at the end of fall camp, and he really never really got consistently healthy. I remember going into week 4 or 5, and they say Thursday we think he'll be all the practice, and so plus he didn't ever have the reps, and so we're trying to give him a special teams role, and just he never really got his cleats in the ground. He was a corner in Reigns, so I mean everything was different for him too, but he really flashed in the scrimmage. I mean, he showed physicality. He's got really good athleticism. He's a great kid, and he's smart, and he's got toughness to him. We just got to keep him along those lines, and he'll have a role for us.
Is Conrad becoming a more consistent safety?
Yeah, we're still working on it. We're not where we can be with him, and some of that is I got to do a better job in coaching him and getting it cleaner for him. But he's had some flash plays. We got to keep him a little bit. We got to keep him as consistent as we can, health-wise, and then once we keep him on the field consistent enough, I think working with the other guys and not being a listener, but being the speaker, because that's the position you play. There's certain positions that you need listeners. Safety's probably not the best position. Last year we managed it, but this year's a different expectation, and we got to continue to meet those expectations.
Chris asked you about AZ earlier. Has he always been as physical as it seems like he's playing now? I mean, it seems
No, didn't you hear what I said? We used to go on and tackle the sled, and he wants to be successful. So I wasn't saying he wasn't physical, but it was not the greatest part of his game. Now, as his confidence in coverage has escalated, his confidence in his physicality, and also the weight room. I mean, another guy that plays a true freshman, was beat up a little bit after his freshman year, so the weight room, he didn't really reap all the benefits of what the weight room. Next thing you know, it's spring practice. He played a little bit in the spring. Now it's summer. Finally got fully cleared. He had a good summer. We went and played last season. Now he did not miss one workout this offseason. And that's not just like an Ironman award because he's tough. Like all the lifts mattered. All the change of direction mattered. Like all the reps. So now they're just mounting on, and I think we're seeing a complete game with Azarie. And so I think it's a credit to our strength program and to him to take advantage of the moments. This is not one of those programs that if you're really good, we put you on the shelf and rest you until the season, because that doesn't get better. And so he's bought into that, and we're seeing him play really, really good football.
How has Devontae Brown acclimated so far?
Really good. It's a high school corner, it's a college corner, and just you study it, kind of like we did with Jamie Robinson. They're different players, but where you watch it and you say, I think this can translate because of factor. And so we make the move, and the first time he's playing safety is here on the field, you know what I mean? But he's picking things up. He's a natural tackler. and he fits on the ball really well, and he's coachable. And so we're just mounting on the reps.